You're home. It's the middle of the night, and you hear this. Your first thought is not a bird. Your first thought is someone screaming for help. That is the common loon, and that haunting wail has been used in horror movies for decades because no one believes it comes from a living bird. What makes it even stranger, every male loon has a completely unique call, like a fingerprint. No two are the same. A bird with its own personal signature, echoing across the lake at 3 in the morning. And people call the police thinking someone is in danger. The next bird doesn't sound like a screaming person. It sounds like an entire forest singing at once. Imagine you're home, it's past midnight, and outside, a bird is singing, not one song, not 5, in a single hour, over 30 different songs. Other birds, frogs, car alarms, sounds it invented itself. That's the Northern Mockingbird. Unlike most birds, it never stops learning, ever. A single mockingbird can know over 200 different songs in its lifetime. Its scientific name literally means many-tongued mimic. But here's what most people don't know. One male was recorded singing 465 songs in just 26 minutes, 7 different species, back to back, without stopping. Why? Because the female is listening. The more songs he knows, the more attractive he is. A big repertoire means he is older, experienced, and proven. The mockingbird doesn't just sing, it competes. And it never runs out of material. The next bird has even more songs, far more, and it invented every single one. Most people walk past this bird every day and never notice it. It sits in a tree, opens its beak, and starts singing. And doesn't stop. The Brown Thrasher has a repertoire of over 1,000 songs. Some researchers say closer to 3,000. Unlike the mockingbird, it doesn't copy the world around it. It invents its own songs, original compositions, created from scratch, and it sings each one exactly twice before moving to the next. If the mockingbird is a jazz musician, the Brown Thrasher is a classical composer with an endless library no one else has access to. The next bird uses its voice for something completely different, not music, not competition, just to be heard across an entire swamp. Before we continue, if you're learning something new today, subscribe to Birdwatching TV. Every week, the most fascinating birds on Earth explained clearly. Now let's keep going. You're standing at the edge of a swamp. Still water. Total silence. Then from deep inside the reeds, something that sounds like broken plumbing. That is the American Bittern. It stretches its neck forward, gulps air into a special sac in its throat, and forces it out as a deep boom that carries over half a mile across open water. Most people who hear it have no idea they're listening to a bird. It sounds like a machine. It looks like it's malfunctioning, but it's actually looking for a mate. A bird that sounds like broken plumbing and uses it to find love. The last bird on this list doesn't just make strange sounds. It keeps the sounds of the past alive. You're trying to sleep, windows open, summer night, and then you hear this. Over and over, without stopping. That is the eastern whippoorwill, and what you just heard is literally its own name. The bird repeats its name as its call, through the entire night, from dusk until sunrise, without rest. But here's the part that sounds impossible. One male was documented repeating that same call 1,088 times in a row, without a single pause. Scientists believe the whippoorwill times its singing to the lunar cycle, calling most intensely around a full moon, when there is enough light to hunt insects on the wing. But despite how loud it is, almost no one ever sees it. The whippoorwill is perfectly camouflaged against dead leaves and tree bark. It sits completely still during the day, invisible to anyone walking past. Most people spend their entire lives hearing this bird and never once laying eyes on it. You hear it everywhere. You find it nowhere. A bird that fills the night with sound and disappears with the light. Before we go, every single person watching this is hearing birds differently depending on where they live. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, your nights sound completely different from someone in Florida, or Texas, or Maine. So tell me in the comments, where in the United States are you watching from, or are you joining us from somewhere else in the world? And here's what I really want to know. Which bird with a strange song did we miss? Because there are hundreds of them across this country, and one video is never enough. Drop the name of the bird you think should have been on this list. And if there's a specific bird you want us to cover next, tell us. This channel is built for people who are genuinely curious about birds, and every video we make starts with what you want to see. If you learned something today, subscribe to Birdwatching TV. Hit that button right now. Every week, the most remarkable birds in America explained in a way you won't forget.